We will begin by standing for the national anthem. I request all the participants and dignitaries to please rise.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Thank you all. Please be seated. Honorable Minister of State, Minister of Statistics and Program Implementation, Rao Indrajit Singh, Shri Amitabh Kant, India G20 Sherpa, and our special guest, respected Secretary, MOSPI, former Secretaries, Distinguished Director Generals, Additional Director Generals, Additional Secretaries, Statistical Advisors, Senior Officials of MOSPI and other ministries and departments, State officials, state participants from institutions, international organizations, media, and ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you for gracing your presence to this occasion and for those who are joining online through our live streaming on YouTube. With immense pleasure and honor, I, Supriya Saxena, on behalf of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, extend my warm welcome to each one of you as we gather here to celebrate a landmark moment, a moment of immense pride for all of us at the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation to celebrate the 75th anniversary of National Sample Survey. Thank you very much.
यह सोचने का भी समय है कि
He's been a very dynamic minister who guided us. Thank you very much.
Surveys as a tool for collection of data. He was responsible for the national sample surveys, which are now regarded as examples to be followed by other countries. In fact, the role of surveys becomes more important.
He is the former director of the Chennai Mathematical Institute, a fellow of the Indian Academy of Sciences and INSA. His expertise spans probability theory, election analytics. Let's hear from him through his recorded address.
On the occasion of the 75th anniversary of NSS, greetings to everyone present on the occasion. I'm sorry that I could not be there in person due to other commitments. Let me begin by briefly recalling the glorious history of NSS. Almost immediately after the independence, even before the constitution, the government had appointed Professor Tulsi Maharani,
which are conducted with scrupulous care by NSSO in regard to the country as a whole, its people, economy, society, environment, and even aspects which are
an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad and a BTech from IIT Delhi. Under his leadership, the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation is advancing towards national growth and advancement of the country. Now I request Sir to please come forward to deliver his opening remarks and address the august gathering with your insightful words.
Honorable Minister, Rao Indrajit Singh, my colleagues, Geeta DG of NSS, Kishore, the ADG, members of the National Statistical Commission, eminent academicians, other colleagues who have been associated with the National Sample Survey and the Ministry of Statistics, my colleagues from different parts of the country, I think, and the field staff, enumerators, supervisors from all the 153 offices across the country. A warm welcome to all of you. I'm told many of you might have been visiting Delhi for the first time. I do hope you have a very pleasant visit to Delhi and you remember the 75th anniversary of the National Sample Survey, in which all of you have been contributing. I think you heard the eminent personalities, you heard Mr. Amitabh Kant, and you've seen the video, the work which the NSS done. The NSS were insignificant compared to the benefits of preventing misdirected policies and undue spending. And I think it can't be more aptly said that the expenditure that we have on it over the past many years, many of the predecessors that have been doing, and we hope that we will continue to provide real-time evidence to policy making to ensure that in our path towards a Viksit Bharat 2047, NSS continues to guide and ensure that policies are so much better and focused on the citizens of the country. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your enriching opening remarks. Your insightful words have set a positive and engaging. Release the two publications, the Diamond Jubilee publication on household and enterprise surveys of NSS. Thank you, sir, and other dignitaries for unveiling the remarkable publication that captures the extraordinary journey of the National Sample Survey. This invaluable resource will serve as both a historical record and a guiding light for future advancement in India's statistical system. Thank you, sir and madam. As we continue this special occasion, we now take a moment to recognize the excellence and dedication in capacity building. The Karma Yogi.
Respected colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with immense pride and joy that I stand before you today to inaugurate the 75th anniversary celebration of the National Sample Survey, a cornerstone of India's statistical system. Acknowledge the tireless effort of the officers, staff, and field investigators of the NSS. Your dedication and hard work have been instrumental in maintaining the highest standards of data collection and analysis. I also extend my gratitude to the respondents across the country whose participation has made this endeavor possible. As we embark on Amrit
call the next 25 years leading to India's centenary of independence, NSS is more agile with its new initiatives to build a future-ready statistical ecosystem. We aim to leverage big data, machine learning, and citizen-centric platforms to foster transparency and inclusivity. Let us champion data for all, ensuring no voice goes unheard in our journey towards a Viksit Bharat, a developed India. Let us reaffirm our commitment to serving the nation with integrity and excellence. Let us strive to make the NSS even more responsive to the needs of our people and more impactful in shaping India's future. Once again, I congratulate everyone associated with the National Sample Survey on this momentous occasion. May the next 75 years be as transformative and inspiring as the past 75 years have been. Let us continue to work together to build a data-rich, evidence-based and inclusive India. Thank you, and I wish you all a successful and memorable celebration.
Thank you, sir, for inspiring us and for enriching words.
Rao Inderjit Singh ji, our respected Secretary MOSPI Dr. Saurav Garg, Director General NSS Madam Geeta Singh Rathore, officers from MOSPI, distinguished as we celebrate 75th glorious year of the National Sample Survey. NSS is India's most significant and long-standing institution engaged in collection of comprehensive socio-economic data and playing a crucial role in shaping national remarks, which underscores the NSS journey and its future aspirations. Sir, your vision and commitment to improve national statistical framework have been truly inspiring. I would also like to thank Madam Geeta Singh Rathore, Director General NSS, for her welcome address and her dynamic leadership and able guidance in organizing this mega event. I would also like to thank all the eminent personalities for their testimonials. I also like to thank members of the National Statistical Commissions, steering committee members, technical advisory groups for gracing the occasions. I also like to thank Shri Praveen Srivastava ji, our former Secretary MOSPI and Chairman of the committee, and other members of the committee constituted for celebrating the 75th year anniversary of NSS. I also like to thank all the officers from MOSPI, officers from different ministries, state governments, distinguished invitees, data scientists, scholars, academicians, NSS officers, and field staffs across the country, and also the virtual participants attending this inaugural session. I am also
Thank you, sir, for your kind words and acknowledgement.
Is very robust, farm numbers, and by very robust I mean the true value is not likely to deviate by a huge margin from the published result. And the relative standard error is much.
And my first question is to Professor Ghate, as you can see that we have a demographic dividend available to us in terms of the number of young people available in the country. Steps I would like to cover in the first scenario, and we have about
thank you very much for inviting me. It's a great honor to be here. I just want to congratulate the committee who's organizing the NSS celebrations for the 75th year. They've worked very well.
The fact that our focus in collection of information through surveys, censuses, and administrative registers. But over a period of time, we find that collecting data in itself in rural areas as well as urban areas is becoming much more difficult, because the kind of attention we require from the respondent is not forthcoming. So is it that ultimately we have to go in ways so that we have to find alternative solutions to data collection which can replace some of the in-person surveys? So I would request your thoughts on it.
Thank you very much, and I would like to give my best wishes on the 75th year of this NSS celebrations. And yeah, in the last 75 years, NSSO and MOSPI has helped the India in becoming a rising India. And in the next 25 years, this is our start. And yes, we have to come up with some type of new gadgets, new survey technology, new methodologies which can replace the older methodologies. But the main thing is this, which is my request to everybody in this ministry, that we have to change our mindset, we have to open our mind, and we need to welcome the new ideas. And I am here as the relation of the older people and these elder people and say younger people. I would invite all the younger people to get trained into this data science, try to restore your future so that the country can progress. And after 25 years, we will be once again here to celebrate the day for Viksit Bharat. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. My next question will be to Ms. Aditi Chawla. As you know, we have been using other important areas where use of this AI/ML technologies can be envisaged, and what are the specific benefits in terms of maybe real-time data collection as well as in terms of predictive modeling? What are your thoughts on this?
Thank you so much, sir. First, at the outset, I would like to congratulate NSS on its completion of 75 years, and I would also like to thank NSS and Monty for inviting me here for this celebration. To answer your question, sir, yes, the biggest application which we have seen with respect to AI is with respect to the aerial image processing, which has been taking place across the world. We can also see its applications in other land use cases such as surface water levels to map those. That is also a concern from the climate change perspective. On the other hand, we can also have the crop zone area as well as forest.
It's going to be, whether we like it or not, this is going to be the one thing that everybody will try to use. But there are issues that now that DG has come, and there are a number of issues which have been raised about the transparency part of it or the bias part of it. So how are we going to deal with such cases? Do you have any suggestions or thoughts on that?
So this is where I would say that I would not remove the human element at all. We need the checks and balances. So on one hand, if I say that we need to trust the data which is coming from the surveys, on the other hand, we also need to be able to question, especially if it is being collected through some of these advanced tools. Because only by questioning it will we be able to use it in a more effective manner and put the checks and balances in place, because we are all learning at the same time in terms of coming up with some of these procedures as well. So therefore, it is not going to be completely devoid of human element.
Thank you. Next, we come to another important area, which is about data analytics. As we know that whatever data is available to us, we have to use technology so that whatever insights we want to make out of that data, that should be again on data analytics and use of technology for future-ready NSOs. Over to you.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon to everyone. A great pleasure and honor and a privilege to be here. Program leader, it means that I coordinate 4 World Bank departments at the World Bank in India, 4 departments: macroeconomics, private and financial sector development, institutions, and poverty and statistics. I'm speaking today on behalf of the 4th department, which actually has been working with MOSPI and with the national authorities for decades now, and we are privileged to have this opportunity to have collaborated from the very beginning on improving the statistical systems in India, and we look forward to doing the same in the future. Before I specifically answer the first question, I want to quickly say how we as the bank imagine the future of statistics and data. And if you allow me, I want to use a flamboyant example taken from the Hollywood movie Minority Report. It's a movie with Tom Cruise where they predict crimes based on real-time data coming up from all kinds of sources. And I think this is an image of the future that could be relevant to policymakers around the world and in India, because ultimately what we want all the policymakers to have is to have real-time data that would provide them with the feedback they need to take decisions on when to invest marginal public resources, where to maximize efforts and impact, and where to motivate and mobilize all the administration to actually move together towards the Viksit Bharat 2047 vision. And on the data analytics, I think the COVID, we all know this already, the COVID has been the big break. We suddenly discovered that when the statistical offices for various discussed in this panel, credit card data, air traffic data, hotel and restaurant bookings, traffic sensors, social media data. And I think this is the statistical offices, including in India, is really the humongous, particularly for the largest country in the world, to actually inform policymakers. So the chief ministers, prime minister, and all the key decision makers in the country can take decisions based on the available evidence. Yeah, which happened in October. I actually worked on China for the last 7 years and a number of other countries in Asia. And one thing I can say, India is very developed in terms of its statistical advancement, but also in terms of its IT technology endowments. After all, the whole world knows Infosys, Tata, all the IT companies that have conquered some parts of the world. So I think it would be useful in the future to both connect the statistical system, which we're discussing today, with the humongous power of IT in India. And one of the sub-vision of Viksit Bharat would indeed be for the statistics in India to be one of the global leaders in using IT, using AI, using real-time data to inform policy making. What are the three pathways to this sort of vision of Minority Report where you can actually have all the data in your fingertips? 3 points. Invest in hardware. I mean, our understanding of India is that there is still a need to simply invest in servers, in data centers, in cloud computing to ensure that also at the state level, there's just enough physical capacity to do all that is needed. Second, we also need software, but software in a broad sense, which also includes skills that the other panelists have already discussed. Statistical offices need to increasingly employ data scientists, IT specialists, and the experts at the cutting edge, which will not be easy because the private sector usually offers them so much more in terms of salary, so that will be a bit of a challenge. But there's also a big potential in building capacity at the state level, and I think the conference and anniversary today with all the participants from all the states I think it's a great opportunity to actually share the best knowledge. And finally, there's also some scope for reforms on the policy side in order to help coordinate, share, and motivate. I think we all know that in every country, but also in India, there's a silo culture where the departments have some data, they sit on the data, and they don't share it with others. So that's really not a challenge only for India, but I think we can use IT to create these shadow systems that would actually make sure that all the data sets are connected, and there are some global examples that actually show it is possible. We've been also been investing a lot in improving statistical systems around the world. In the last decade alone, we have invested more than $2 billion in improving statistical systems. Our teenagers in working with each other. We also have ongoing projects at the state level. So if there's any state representatives that want to work with the bank on technical assistance or knowledge sharing, please reach out to us. So to conclude, I think the vision, let's call it the Minority Report vision. What we really know is for the policymakers to have all the data they ever needed at their fingertips on the screens. And I think one of the ways that we're discussing here today we can get there is to indeed have real-time analytics, AI, where India can really be one of the global leaders. We as the World Bank will be there with you to not necessarily hold your hand, but come with you together to make sure that it happens. Thank you.
Thank you for your very valuable suggestions. Now we have another 2-3 minutes, and maybe with a very open question kind of thing, and about which Mr. Kowski has already mentioned. That is about the data silos and interoperability of the data. So maybe we can have a quick word from Professor Bhatt about how should we, in India we are already trying to do a lot of things by interacting with various ministries to talk.
Our next panelist, Professor Abhirup Mukhopadhyay, is a faculty member at Economics and Planning Unit of Indian Statistical Institute, Delhi. His research focuses on econometric methods applied to education.
Not just in the price division, but also in the consumption side.
I know that I stand between you and lunch, so I'm going to keep it very short. But, for the last so many years, the one thing that every CEO, tech CEO, non-tech CEO, has stood up and said on every single stage she or he has been asked to present on is data is the new oil. Can I see a show of hands? How many of you agree with that? Or the potential data economy. And I think we Indians have taken that statement a bit too. The value of data does not go up when you store it. And today we are doing a very good job of storing data. Every state, every department, sitting on tons and tons of data. So everyone is hoarding their data. But your value of data is absolutely not going up. If anything, it's coming down. So I think the biggest challenge or question in front of us is how do we move towards becoming, towards effective data utilization? How do we ensure that we truly convert this? When you look at the data scenario in India, it's intriguing to see the driving the model efficiency is the wow factor. Now, how many of our institutes are working on that kind of R&D to drive the next level of model efficiency so India can be the disruptor? And I think this is the fundamental question. Ultimately, it boils down to human capabilities and hunger, frankly. How hungry are we to disrupt this game? And are we building the right kind of capabilities, mindset, culture, where we understand the true value of data? We understand that this is going to be, and I was just telling Shaurabh this, that frankly, one thing that every student must learn, or we must build in every student, even at the school level, is this so-called data.
Thank you.